Let's look at one of our resources as an example. So we've put together a PDF that gives, this is from biology, it's from cell biology, it's from one of the first topics, cell structure, talks about eukaryotes and prokaryotes. And it's kind of an overview of the topic and everything that's important in there. And all this information on this sheet. And you can get lots of resources like this. They're really readily available for your child. So you can download lots of stuff for free on our website and others. You can get really cheaply, you can get stuff. We recommend CGP generally. Things like this knowledge organizer, it's got all of the information again inside, or possibly textbooks. This again CGP, but whatever your school uses, whatever your child uses, there's loads and loads of resources. You can get all of that information quite readily. I mean, you can go onto ChatGPT and ask it to tell you everything that's in the biology course that you're studying or the chemistry course that you're studying. The information is there. It's not about that information, it's about how your student uses it and what they do with it, because just reading some information is not a way to get it to stick in your memory, and it's not a way for you to then be able to use it. If you're going to apply this information, if you're going to evaluate questions and apply the things that you know to answer those questions, you need the information to be readily available in your longer term memory. And in order to get it in there, simply reading these resources isn't enough. So yes, making sure that your student or your child has all that information is amazing, but no, them having it isn't going to help them to do well just on its own. So one of the things that we really encourage is active note taking, and there's lots of ways you can do that. And I'm going to show you now. I'm going to take this PDF of ours, so this cell structure overview, and I'm going to use a method called Cornell note taking, and we have a template for that, and I'm going to show you how to use this template to take this information, actually process this information, and that's going to help it to get into your brain and be something that can be used time and time again. So I'm going to show you now how I would sit down and do that.
One of the traps that we often see students fall into is they get a lovely resource with lots of information, much like this here. That's this is a resource we've designed. It's a PDF. It's got all the information about this biology topic, cell structure. And what students often do is think, brilliant, I'm going to revise this, and then they read through it. If we're lucky, perhaps they go through and they think, okay, I'm going to highlight something. Maybe they have, okay, I'm going to highlight this bit here, cell membrane, and they read through and they highlight a few things and they think, brilliant, I've done lots of revision. Unfortunately, that isn't the way that revision is done. In order to keep it in your mind and to make it stick, in order to make information stick, we have to do more than just see it or hear it. We have to process it and we have to do something with it, and that's why Cornell notes are such a good thing to do, in a way to take notes while you're doing your revision to help you to engage with the material that you have. So this is our template. We've designed this for you. It's free to download, and it basically divides your paper up into 3 sections. So, 4 if you count the topic. So we've just left a space here for you to do the title. And then there's a section for note taking, a section for writing questions, and a section that's really small down at the bottom for a summary. And these pieces are specifically sized, so there's quite a lot of space for notes, and a smaller amount of space for questions, and a really small amount for summary. So it makes you really think about what the most important things are that you're going to put in there. And the key here is not just to make your writing really, really tiny in this space, but to use the space properly and to put a really concise summary, some really good questions that you can ask yourself to help you recall, and the key notes from the information that you have. So if I was looking at this as a bit of a revision time, I would set myself some time, and the first thing I would do is give this a quick read. That wouldn't be my whole revision, but I would definitely read it through so I got an idea about what's going on, and perhaps I would highlight as I went. So I'm going to look at this information about eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells are found in plants and animals. They have a cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus. Prokaryotic cells are bacterial. They're smaller. The cell membrane, cytoplasm, cell wall. Prokaryotics, single DNA loop. They might have some plasmids. Okay, so I know I'm going to be looking at eukaryotes and prokaryotes. Then we go into some more detailed subcellular structures. I'm going to see about the nucleus, cell membrane, mitochondria, ribosomes. Then it's important here that these are only in plant cells, chloroplasts, permanent vacuole cell wall. Okay. And then here it talks a little bit about standard form as well and what that means. So what I'm then going to do is start to transfer this over into my notes. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to think about questions that I might ask myself that the notes are the answer to, so that when I come back I can ask these questions, cover up my notes and think about the answers. And if I don't know, I can look at the notes, but I'm actually forming some questions that I can ask myself. So I'm going to go straight in with the topic. This is cell structure. And I happen to know it's from biology. So let's stick that in there. And okay, I'm going to think about my notes. So I'm going to do So I'm just going to divide this up into two sections so you can see I'm doing something different with the information. This is telling me about two types of cells. So I'm going to make two headings and I'm going to think about them before. So here it says plant cells and animal cells. This says bacterial. And it also tells me that these are smaller. It tells me that eukaryotes have a nucleus. Prokaryotes, no true nucleus. And then they have a DNA loop. And sometimes they have plasmids. So thinking about questions, I might be asking myself, what are the main differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells? Okay, so there's a question that's come out of this that I can then ask myself, or I can ask people to ask me, or I can question myself at a later date. And in fact, what this is triggering for me is making me think about cue cards. So about these little revision cards like this, that would be a great thing to stick on the front of a revision card. What's the main difference? And then you could write the answer on the back of your cue card. So it's really something that you can actively do. So I'm going to crack on now and complete the rest of this, filling in lots of different information. Okay, I'm really happy with that.